So actually, grammatical case is a category in Croatian, or actually in all Slavic languages. It is also Bog, Eva I Bog Nada. It is also a very important category because when you start learning Croatian, you will see a lot of things changing, and you will be confused if you don't know this category. So actually, let's start from the beginning. If you're just beginning to learn, if you're just at the beginning of learning Croatian, it is important for you to use resources that have a lot of small dialogues and small texts, from which then you can acquire rules of any grammatical rules. So it is important for you, if you're at the beginning, to start with vocabulary and dialogues, and then acquire grammar. After this beginner's phase, you can actually, you will feel actually the need to go a little bit more in depth in every grammatical rule, because you will need it to speak correctly. So after this beginner's phase, two things are important: the concept itself and the rules how to use this grammatical concept. I would say the concept itself is more important. Of course, you have to know the rules, as here in cases endings, but the concept is more important. Why? Because you will with the concept you can actually acquire all the rules with listening and reading. You can acquire it instead of just learning the endings and just doing the exercises. It's always better to acquire the rules than just to learn it. Evo, Nataša nam govori da njemački ima 4 padeža. 7. Okay. Okay. So, like I was saying, the concept of cases is much more important, and this is why I'm going to talk about the concept today. And I'm going to mark this video as a part 1, because topic of cases is not really something simple. So let's say this is a part 1. But I will also say something about endings and give a little tips for learning cases in general. If you're just starting and you are after this beginner's phase, you can actually see something like this. For example, if you learn the word for house, kuća, soon enough you will see something like this. Imam lijepu kuću. I have a beautiful house. This was a sentence from yesterday. Imam lijepu kuću. And you can see that kuća at the beginning changed to kuću. We have another ending. Or in the next one we have on je glava kuće. Again, something different. Kuće. So this kuća, kuću, kuće is the grammatical case. You can think of it as a dimension of a word or a different version of the word. And with these different versions, we are saying things differently. We are trying to send a different message. You can also think of all cases like dimensions, like bubbles, where you're saying something differently than in another bubble. Let's start from the beginning, and I think then it's going to be easier. If you're starting with Croatian, you're going to start with nominative case. That's the ground form, nominative case. Nominative case is important because you can see the gender of the words in the nominative case. I wrote here 3 sentences, so we have 3 genders. I will talk a little bit more about genders in the video, in the next video with endings. But here, the first thing from nominative case, the ground form, which you can find in dictionaries, the gender. But you can say a lot of things more just with nominative, not just the gender. Think of it as a bubble where you are describing and recognizing things. So when you start to learn a language, you're going to say, oh, what is that? Who is this? You're going to say that, okay, this is a house, that is a table. And you're going to recognize what is what. And you're asking the questions for nominative. You're asking the questions who or what. What is this? Who is that? Who is doing the action in the sentence? So that is the first sentence. To je lijep stan. That is a beautiful apartment. To je lijep stan. You're recognizing, we are saying, what is this? We are saying, this is a beautiful apartment. And the second thing I said, besides of recognizing, is when you're saying who is beautiful or what is beautiful, you're saying that someone is doing the action in the sentence, a subject of the sentence. Kuća je lijepa. So a house is beautiful. You're thinking, think here about who is doing the action, who is being beautiful here. Kuća. Kuća is the subject of the sentence. Or here, pivo je hladno. Beer is cold. We recognize things in this first bubble, nominative bubble, and we are saying that this particular thing or person is doing the action. So think about this first bubble as a recognition bubble and something you will describing bubble, because you're also saying house is big, house is beautiful, house is small, so you're describing stuff you see. That is the first phase. Imagine that we have this bubble now here, and we are saying and describing a house, and we said, this is a house, this house is beautiful. To je kuća, kuća je lijepa. And now we want to add another bubble. We want to add a bubble that says, for example, that someone has this house. We have now two bubbles. And now we have a bubble that is saying that someone is doing the action of having something else. And remember these two bubbles, because this is a relationship between a subject, the one that is doing something, and the object. This object is being had by the subject. So take a look here at the sentence, at the first sentence here. Imam lijepu kuću. I am the first bubble. I have, that is the action, a beautiful house. So I bubble is here, the subject bubble that is doing the action of having. And what do I have? Now the object, I have something, that's the second bubble. In the second bubble, the object of the subject, so the thing that the subject has or watches or wants, is the object. Always in accusative. So this is the second bubble. The second bubble is accusative bubble. That is also demonstrated here. Imam lijepu kuću. So let me repeat, because I see people are just joining. We had the first bubble here in nominative bubble. And we have now the second bubble, accusative. And we are saying that the subject has an object. So someone that is doing the action is a subject of a sentence in nominative case, and he has something, he has an object that is in the accusative case. Imagine always these two bubbles when you are talking about subject and object, and you will know then that you have this accusative nominative relationship subject-object. And not just so accusative in Croatian is not just a subject a case of objects. It is also, if you imagine these two bubbles, we have direction. That is the second important function of accusative. And this is also the second sentence here. Idem u kafić na kavu. So I'm going to the cafe to get some coffee. Idem u kafić na kavu. We again have idem, I'm going. Who is going? That's the first bubble, I. And then our direction is somewhere. We are going somewhere. We are going to the second bubble, to the cafe. So again, two bubbles, don't forget. And we say, but where are we going to? Where? The direction. Again, idem. Idem u kafić na kavu. We have two bubbles. One is the subject and the other one is saying, aha, okay, we have something that is going on here. Someone is going to another bubble. And this is very important. First one, the object. Second one, the direction to another bubble. Accusative as well has these prepositions, so small words that function like signals for accusative. The first sentence doesn't have any these small preposition signals. You have to recognize it by recognizing the bubbles. But the rest, you have a little help. You have help with these prepositions, small words, and with the with all the words of action that are saying, okay, you're going somewhere, you're coming, you're every time you have some direction and also moving, dynamic. This dynamic between the two bubbles, think accusative. Signals for that are verbs like idem, ići, ili dolazim, I'm coming, odlazim, I'm going. So everything that is dynamic and it's moving, think accusative. For example, here, another signals, idem po novine za mamu. I'm going to pick up the newspapers for mom. Two signals as well, po i za. Idem po, I'm going to pick up. Remember this po as picking up something and coming back. Again, we are again here in two bubbles and we are saying we are picking up something. Picking and coming to the first bubble. And for za, always connect za with accusative. So that was our second bubble, accusative. You have or want, or you're looking at something, this other bubble, or you're going to the other bubble. Your direction is the other bubble. And u, na, po, za, signals that have to always be connected with this ići, with this going, to be accusative. As you can see here on the next one, we have something similar here at the top. We have again u, na, o, po, and that is a signal for our third bubble, third case, that is called a locative case. So the logic behind the locative case you can already see in its name. Locative, location, where something is. And you can also see in the first sentence, stanujem u Zagrebu, so I live in Zagreb, that again, there are no bubbles, no one is going anywhere. Again, it's just one place in which you live. And think about this place, location, where, if you always want to, if you want to say where, think locative. That is the first first case that we think of when we think location. There are other signals for example, for genitive cases I will talk about later. But for now, locative case, lokacija, the first case you think when you think location. Una, the same prepositions, the same signals, but be careful. There is no going from one bubble to another. We're just at one place, and we are living there or doing something else here in this one place. Two other signals for this case are o, govorim o kući. I'm talking about a house. Govorim o kući. Topic of a conversation. Yeah, I'm talking about something. Here in this sentence, I'm talking about a house. Govorim o kući. What are we talking about? We are talking about a house. This is the second context for locative. And this po again, but be careful. There is no going, there is no moving around. It's all static, and it means for. Njemačka je poznata po pivu. Germany is famous for beer. So we have 4 signals here for locative. First one, remember locative location, where something is. You're going to say u or na. Second one, topics of conversation. You are talking about something or something is famous for. So this is the logic behind locative case. Next case is dative case. And also from the name, dative, actually also in Latin language, dare, to give, means in Croatian dati, to give. When you're saying dala sam mami cvijeće, I gave flowers to my mom. To my mom. And then this little to in English, we say it with this mami. I. Dala sam mami cvijeće. Or in masculine, dao sam prijatelju sat. I gave my friend a watch, for example. Dative, dati, to give. That is the most important context for dative. And just a small tip here for endings. Dative and locative have the same endings. Dative and locative, the same endings, which makes it a little bit easier to learn. Just learn a new context, dative. Another case that is also not difficult to understand is instrumental case. You want to say that you're doing something with someone. Stanujem s, I'm living with. Stanujem s mamom, tatom I bratom. I'm living with my mom, dad, and my brother. And you want to say that you're doing something by, for example, by car. You're going somewhere by, you're using the vehicle. Vozim se autom. Vozim se autom. So I'm driving by car. I'm driving by car. Mostly instrumental case are those two contexts. For every case we have some other context, but this is something that it's easier to start with. So that's why I'm emphasizing this now. People you're doing something with, and some means of transport by which you're going somewhere, instrumental case. As you can see, I mentioned almost all of them, besides vocative and genitive. Someone will say the easiest and the hardest. Vocative really is the easiest to understand because you're calling someone, and that is the only function there is. So there is no buts like in other cases. Vocative case, you're calling someone, and then you have rules how you're going to call them. That's it. Vocative, that's why people say it's the easiest. Vocative case, case for calling someone. And we are left with so-called the hardest case, but I feel actually it's not the hardest. It does have the most meanings, the most prepositions, more signals, more context to use it, but I feel that's making things easier because you can learn a pattern and you can use it to more contexts than other cases. I chose these three. Ja sam iz Zagreba. I'm from Zagreb. When you're saying your origin, genitive is usually in every Slavic language a case for origins. Is, remember the signal is, very important, is. And second and third, let's connect it. Context is every time you have of, the small of in English, we have genitive case. He is the head of the household or house. On je glava kuće. Genitive. Connect this small of in English with genitive case. And similar logic, može 3 piva I 2 kave. Can I have 3 beers and 2 coffees? You're ordering something off, like 3 off beers or coffees, but 2. I said 2/3 because you can also think of it as a case when you are saying how much. So we have numbers connected to genitive. When you say 3, 2, or 4, 5, we have different rules how to use also genitive. So after every number except number 1, we have genitive case. So think of genitive as first origin, second this small of, and now the third numbers. And every time you're saying how much of something is here, is it a lot, puno, little, malo? Can I have more, a little bit more, malo više, or less, manje? So you're saying how much you're using genitive. These are the most important contexts for cases. There are, like I said, more, but start with this. And let me just repeat one more time. We have different versions of one word, and you have to change it depending on the sentence, depending on the context. I explained now the logic behind every case, and now I can share also how I think is the best way to learn these cases. First, start with each individual one. Learn nominative, and learn nominative really well. Don't think of it as a ground form and then who cares. It's really important to learn all 3 genders in singular and plural, because accusative is like half of accusative endings is the same as nominative. So if you learn nominative well, accusative has only 3 more endings to add. So that is one tip for endings. Learn nominative well, you will know accusative then really well. After that, when you're learning each case individually, you will see that actually in all other cases, masculine is the same as neutral. So actually you have 2 genders or 2 set of endings to learn. So we have 3 genders in nominative, in singular and plural. Accusative, half of accusative is like nominative. For example, the whole neutral is the same as nominative. So again, actually two set of rules, endings. And then for each of the other cases, again, masculine is the same as neutral. So we have 2. I feel that when you learn each case individually, then you're ready to combine them, learn how to speak with all of them together. I also like to learn, for example, combinations. First, learn nominative and accusative, practice them together, add another case individually, practice all three, add another one individually, and add it. That is also a useful strategy, and students after that learn it really well. After you really get the hang of the case endings for nouns. Nouns are words like stall, table, kuća, house. Then you're ready to go a level up and to learn endings for adjectives. Please, if you're just starting, don't get scared. It's not that that's difficult, but adjectives have another endings. They have different endings from nouns. Adjectives are words that describe this noun. So if you say beautiful, big, small, these are the words that we call adjectives. And we have adjective declination. But even though it may seem now like that's a lot, adjectives, when you learn rules for nouns really well, it cannot happen that you, it can happen, of course, but it's going to be easier to learn and just add another layer and learn endings for adjectives as well.